Walking his cock.
Have you guys ever been inside the bathroom of the Oaks garage? This is what it looks like. Tuckers on the wall. Special feel
room.
Of course. Is that silver moss? Pretty jady. You know. Got some splash. What's that over there?
Is this how we're starting the video?
Why not? A little tour of the bathroom?
What is up, everyone? As you guys might be able to tell, we got a new camera. So I've been dying to change like the look of the videos for a long time. And well, Stevie convinced me to, can't even think.
Drop a bag off on a new camera, and I think he's did it.
I'm very happy about it. So as you guys can tell, I haven't posted a video in a few days too, and I haven't been feeling too good, but today I'm feeling better, and my whole plan for the week is messed up. And I had a whole thing ready for this, but the week screwed up, right? So we're gonna start fresh. We're starting today. We don't have much time today, but we're gonna get a video out there. And I figured today we would do a car update video, right? I know it's not super exciting, but I didn't want to leave you guys with nothing today. So I figured at least this will give you some information. I know a lot of guys have been asking about a lot of builds lately too. Since we have kind of a lot going on, it's really easy to, well, not know what's going on with them. So we're gonna leave the video to Ant. Ant, come on, buddy. You got this.
Come on, Ant.
You go top.
What do you want to talk about first, bud?
It's the most asked about car.
Look at that unit, dude.
This thing is fire.
You can't even. There you go. There you go. I'm so excited.
Shouts to Mike Devine for specking us out as well too.
Yeah. Okay, let's just get after it, right? Let's just do that. I got the sniffles, but we'll get to it. So, oh man, there's a lot of cars in here. S15, right? Let's get to it. Look at this thing. This has been the beauty in the back for a long time. We got this thing, not this summer, but the summer before that. It was, well, a dream purchase. A freaking S15. Who doesn't want to own an S15? Stevie wants to own an S15. Doesn't even know what the hell the thing is.
I want an S15. I know what it is. Don't put me out there like that. But
yeah, we're gonna do 15 off the rip. And it's like, oh, you should wait, you know, really keep them stuck to the
we're
video.
going straight to the 15.
We're gonna start with the 15. All right. So the funny thing is, when I got this car, it was such a piece of crap. At least I thought it was. You guys remember, if you had been around for a while, it had a full fiberglass front end. The quarter panel had some things to it, and I thought it was rusty and crappy and whatever. And then the more S15s I saw over the last year, I realized that this is actually a really clean car. S15s didn't age well. They just weren't sealed well, and they're all rusty and they're all crappy. But so over the last year, I've actually come to really appreciate mine. And I've also accumulated quite a few parts for it. As you guys saw, I got the aero bumper, right?
He's got stuff.
Big, overpriced piece of plastic. I got a whole new metal front end for it and TEs, and I actually have an engine for it. And I think we did expose that I got an engine for this thing, right? I don't know, come over here. So there's a bunch of crazy engines we could put in it. It's an S15, right? Anything's cool in an S15. 2JZ and everything like that. But I'll tell you what, I've swapped a lot of S chassis, and I've learned that a 4-cylinder belongs in an S chassis. It is just the best feeling setup. The chassis feels the best, and well, what's the best 4-cylinder ever made? An SR20. So I actually bought this built bottom end from a friend's. He works at a shop, and it was sitting around for a long time, and they needed it gone. And so I got a good deal on it. So I have a fully built head and bottom ends, and then I had JP come look at it, and he told me that it needs to be fully redone.
Of course.
Of course. That I don't know why. I feel like built engines just are never right, unless JP does it. Then they're perfect. But we're gonna drop it off the JPs. We'll throw the engine together, and we have an engine for the S15. But why haven't I built it yet, right, Steven?
Why haven't you built it, Jim?
Right? Get after it. So when I first got it, you guys know I had some title issues with it, right? It's not 25 years old. You all know that. It's, you know, a big elephant in the room. La-di-da-di-da. I bought it. It took a really long time to get the title. And then we had, you know, we got it. Got into other things. Mints of that, I got even more issues with the title. And recently it has been solved. Well, now I can actually justify getting back into it. But this is the thing, right? This is the problem. I've accepted that this is the only 15 I'll probably ever own. And so I want to make this one very special. That being said, it's not a build that I just want to throw together. I want to build it when I have the time. and the resources to make it exactly what I want it to be. And so I just haven't been in this big rush to just kind of like send it off and get these things done super quickly to it, since I really do want this to be like my dream S15. So some of you might get that, some of you might not, but you know, I slowly make purchases here and there, and this winter I'm really expecting to really kind of get a grunt of it done, but we do have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of money to spend, so it's not that it's forgotten about, it's just
he wants to do it right, people. So champion that for Jimmy.
there
Make him feel good about it.
I don't know if that's the answer you wanted to hear, but it is in the sights for sure. But in the meantime, I love having it there. I love that I have one secured, I guess.
Check her out.
You try to buy an S15 right now, it's just
good luck.
Yeah, it's not happening. So I'm very, very grateful that I'm able to at least have this on ice for when I'm ready. So besides that, we got the R33, right? This is like my old faithful at this point. The 33. It's like whenever we had like a car meet or we just had somewhere to go, it was like, oh, I'll just grab the 33. I can always count on it. Never breaks. It drives amazing. Like the R chassis is so smooth. I love it, to be honest. Makes upward of 300 horsepower, but it hits really hard. Gangster looking. I think this is one of the coolest looking cars. Like I love these.
The hot cranberry.
These big platypus looking front ends. The 33 is just super big man friendly. The only thing I really need to do now is to actually paint the car. That being said, it's just extremely expensive, and trying to find a shop around here that will do it at a reasonable rate for in a reasonable time has just been kind of on the back burner, because to be honest, it doesn't kill me how it looks. It's not like it needs to be done tomorrow. So I've been pondering this idea of actually getting rid of it, which is kind of crazy to think, right?
Really?
Yeah. Because I really want a GTR. Really want a GTR.
GTR Jimmy would be a thing.
Not getting a 34, that's never gonna happen. Maybe in the future when, you know, I hit it big on NFTs or something, right? But
speak it into existence, guys.
I just don't fit in the 32s. I'm just not a 32 guy. 33 GTR, they're still insanely expensive, but it's maintainable, and I feel like this car's worth okay money. Maybe put the Super ID out of the way for a little while, sell this and get an R33 GTR. It's an idea. What do you think of that idea?
Well, your card's right.
Yeah.
I think an R34 is achievable.
Ant sees no ceilings.
You're saying GTR.
Yeah, I'm saying GTR.
GTT. But you want a GTR.
I want a GTR.
All-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive, RB26. I want to live the GTR experience at least once in my life.
All right.
All right. Let me know what you guys think of that. Honestly, the idea kind of breaks my heart, but excites me at the same time, because I have such a weird attachment to this car. I really do love this car.
That car is cool.
Besides that, I mean, there's no crazy mods I want to do to it. Is there anything you guys want to see done to it? I mean,
I think just like seeing this thing like perfectly painted would do it for me.
besides that, you guys know we just did the S14, right? The NAT setup in here. I don't. Fucking wheels. Dude, they look so good on this camera. This is insane. I feel like I'm not even like filming my own channel right now. This car just needs small fun stuff now, you know, maybe some nicer brakes. Still cannot figure out a spoiler on this thing. Like, still heavily thinking about that. Can't figure it out.
Honestly, I think if it had the nav and front bumper, it'd look fine as is. Kind of growing on me.
The wingless look? Yeah. It is a vibe. Yeah, nav and front bumper for sale, hit me up. But yeah, Z32 Srz. You guys know this car because we just did a video on it like 2 weeks ago. And you guys are keeping up on them, and I'm so proud of you for that. So still, we're working on getting this thing color corrected. I'm waiting for Eden to be like, yo, I'm gonna come up and do it for you. Eden, come on, hit me up. We talked about this.
Low temp radio, come on, we need another episode.
And then we have the skirts and the Jdm front bumper. If you guys didn't watch the video where I talked about my Jdm front bumper that I've had for like 3 years, right here, sitting here looking pretty, it's getting painted. We're gonna get it painted. I'm not gonna let that not happen. We're gonna either make one of Papa Tom's guys do it, or I'm just gonna pay a lot of money at a collision shop to do it.
We don't want to do that. Come on.
But I will, because she deserves it. Look at it, that'd be so hot.
She would be.
Besides that, it still needs an intake, and technically it needs a bigger intercooler. So that was the one thing I did notice with the newer turbo. Now that thing's actually making some jam. I'm so stuffed up, I'm sorry guys. It needs a bigger intercooler. So we gotta figure out how to fit it in there because the whole mid-mount setup. But in the meantime, sounds great, it drives great, so. I don't know. What else? You guys know, we just talked about this car.
Check her
Right,
out.
diff swap.
Diff swap, you're right, it does need a diff swap. So, if you guys weren't paying attention when we did the new turbo setup, the gearing is just super long since we are using the Z transmission and diff setup like this. The gears are so long, and so like the SR, right, the lack of low ends, it doesn't really care for the really long gear. So we're gonna shorten it up, bring it closer to like a 240SX gearing, and it should feel a little bit peppier. But besides that, I mean, come on, this thing's awesome. All right, so we're gonna go on to the BMWs here. So I saw in the last video, there's actually a lot of questions about Brian's car, because obviously we had the whole thing where his engine blew up, and then we basically bought him the best of everything to get a new engine built. Shout out to you guys. And it took a really long time for everything to show up, which is just typical how everything works right now. But I think the last bit was the bearings, and I think they just showed up, right? The mains, right?
I don't know. I think they're still back ordered.
Are they really?
Yeah.
No, they have to be showing up like any day, whatever. So everything's been with JP at the machine shop, so I think all the machine work is done. So once the bearings show up, I think it's just...
Do that again? That's nice.
But it's like right there. I think we're just waiting on the bearings to slap the thing together. But of course, once we have the engine, it's game over, man. We were hoping it would happen a little bit faster, but that's nobody's fault. It's just how everything in the economy is working right now, so be it. I'm just happy we were able to secure him such a... dude, that engine is going to be so gangster. You have no idea. I mean, you guys have a good idea, but I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. Don't worry, guys. She's coming. She's coming soon. Yeah.
Now underneath here, what do we have?
Trusty old E30, huh?
Is this some coolant leaking from...
Yeah, she's leaking on me. A little bit of power steering fluid. It's
power steering fluid? Oh.
What's up with the E30?
It finally has a black door.
It finally has a black door, yeah. The E30, if you guys didn't see it from that one video, the E30 finally has a black door again. And it's crazy how it completely changed the entire car. Like the red door was almost becoming a staple on this thing. But it took me a long time to get a clean sedan door that was worth painting, because the red one was actually completely rotted out on the bottom. And then we got that one painted. And it's so funny because, you know, the hood, the fender, the door, all of that was painted in completely different scenarios at completely different times, but
it worked out.
It matches so good. Like straight black is awesome. It just matches so good. Like some different blacks have like more tones where they'll have more blues and more greens, and you see it in the light, but dude, look how great that matches. Like, I cannot complain. So she's looking great. I think the last time we drove it, the master cylinder actually kind of started to blow out. So I've had one brand new one in the box for the longest time. It's just finding a day to get under there and bang it out. It's just been annoying. But besides that, she's old faithful. The drivetrain's never let me down. The car has been amazing. Only thing I want to do to get it ready for next drift season is we got to do all the suspension alignment corrections in the rear, because this car has been on the factory like suspension geometry since I got it, which is horrible, but for some reason it's just worked so well that I've never like been in a huge rush to change it. But I ordered the whole garage logistics kit to fix it, and then I really want to do a surge tank in this thing. I feel like a surge tank would do this thing very well, so I do have a full D-Works fuel system for this thing that we just got to find a couple days to bang that out. And I mean, it's the E30.
Shit's hard.
I'm trying to get side skirts on this thing since like day one, because I feel like it looks so frumpy with the giant front lip and then there's just no skirts. But dude, the Ford Taurus skirts, that's the move.
Really?
Yeah, that's the move. But it's so funny because like they used to be so abundant. Right? Remember growing up, you saw a bunch of Ford Tauruses?
Oh yeah.
When's the last time you saw a Ford Taurus?
What?
Not like the new cop car style, but like the traditional, like the 90s Ford
Oh,
Taurus.
like the ones that are like boxy like this.
Yeah. They didn't survive up here.
Yeah,
you might have them like down south, but in the Northeast, they didn't survive. They all rotted out and like
salt cooked them Jones.
Exactly. So like getting a side skirt from the Ford Taurus, it's actually proven to be extremely difficult.
Huh.
Yeah. You can get like the M-Tech skirts, but they don't really fit because the back door, and it's like a whole thing. And I'm working on it. All right.
He'll get there.
A lot of talking. I'm sorry. You guys are great if you're still watching this. So, K-Series Kooky. I actually have Jdm Valences, Jdm rear bumper. My buddy has it. I gotta go pick it up, get that painted so we can finally like finish like the kit right, because right now it's just stock rear bumper and it looks like it's got a really tiny sucked up butt because it's an S14 issue. Besides that, I mean, she runs great. I love the interior. Got the 32 seats in it now. The K-Series.
Pop her open.
Probably should have done like every car so far. This thing has been amazing. We said we were gonna paint the bay forever ago, but I don't even, dude, it doesn't even bother. I kind of like the offset color. It just looks so nice in here.
Earth tones.
There's, besides the crazy vibration of the drivetrain, which is just a K-Series issue, there's really no complaints about this whole entire thing. It's always ran amazing. It takes the beating so well. I need a catch can. That's the only thing. I've needed a catch can since like day one, and I've just been putting it off forever. But besides that,
thing's sick.
I wish I had like this crazy plan for it, but it just works, dude. It honestly just works. It's just a good car. Got anything to add, Steve?
I want to see you paint more cars this color.
Yeah, it's a good silver moss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful color. The Sonda, here we go. Needs an engine.
Needs an engine.
Do you guys remember we tried to blow it up on the dyno like 2 months ago and it wouldn't blow up? It ended up making like 450 horsepower. Stock motor. Still didn't blow up. But it's hurt. It's so hurt, dude. This thing smokes so bad. It's got to have a cracked piston or something crazy at this point. There's no way that it's not hurt. It's bad. A box of built engine internals for so long, and I just haven't brought it to JP. He's been so busy, and it's just been me slacking. I'm gonna take fault in that one. One of my good friends, though, he's one of those painters that he doesn't paint anymore, but I think I convinced him to paint this car.
Huh.
So I think we should just drop it off to him and just let him do his thing.
Get him out of retirement?
Get him out of retirement. Maybe do a carbon roof. I don't know why I've been wanting to do it. Like, the sunroof is cool. It's got like this nice sporty vibe to it, but I feel like this car should have a carbon roof. Come on, you can't. That'd be so gangster. Just a carbon roof on this thing. And I need to stop sleeping on it. We should come out and have you next season with this thing.
Nardies and everything?
Everything.
Pretty
dude.
much you have a Nardi on everything, right?
Besides the 8.6.
Besides that, and it's coming.
It's coming.
Loading.
It's coming. We've still got a lot of cars to go. So, if you guys are still watching at this point, I appreciate you guys so much. The old girl's over here. So, the S13 Coupe, you guys know this car. She's just such a hitter. And we actually have to get this thing ready because LZ is holding... I think I'm exposing that. Am I? Is that a thing? Do people know about that? I gotta get ready. LZ is doing something and I need the coupe ready for it. And we got some things to do to it. We gotta find some time to do it because it's coming up very quickly. And we gotta get this thing ready.
What does she need?
I have a whole rear end for this thing. I gotta really dial in the cooling system. We have to dial the front suspension in again because it's all sloppy and loose. Because remember we tested it at that drift thing and it was rubbing.
Yeah, something about the casters off.
Something moved that shouldn't have moved, and now it doesn't feel right up front. And there's a couple small things that I just haven't done this season that we got to get dialed in because she's got to be ready.
She's got to be right.
A couple weeks, and hopefully we can keep this thing in one piece because I did a really good job this season not messing this car up. Hopefully it'll survive Florida. We're going to have some pretty cool content with this car once we bring it down south. So for now, I'm a little nervous. But besides that, we have the LSZ. You guys know this car. It's the foundation of the channel. My LS1 swapped. The Z32. This has always been the car that's like, you know, project cars are never finished. Like, even when they're like finished, they're not finished, right? So it's hard to say a car is finished. To me, the LSZ isn't finished, but I'm very happy with how it is. I've been happy with it for a very long time. Every like once a year, I feel like we modify it, right? Like we do something. This year we put the intake on it, the new injectors, we made more power, whooped DJ's ass in a race, and you know, it's been great. You know, this has also been one of those cars just old faithful, never breaks. The ride's so good. You know, the Z's are just like Skylines underneath, so they ride just like Skylines. They're very smooth, and it's just a pretty car. You know, there's a lot of paintwork on this car I'd love to get fixed. It's definitely had its fair shares of dents and dings and just shop mishaps over the years. So it's pretty beat up, but it's just one of those things that I'm always happy when I pull it out. It's always a fun cruise, and I don't want to force induce it, right? That's the next thing to do is throw a turbo on it, supercharge it. But once you do that, it kind of brings your car into another realm of shit to break, I guess, right? I've been talking about doing the full LOJ header kit and stuff on it because that's the one thing that the drivetrain is lacking is the exhaust. I have like the eBay short tubes with my like kind of dumpster connector pipes, but it works. That's like the one thing is the exhaust. That's the one thing I've talked about changing for a long time. I don't know, Steven, what should I do to it? Should we touch it? Not touch it? She's good.
She's good. She's good.
So besides that, we have the two over here, and I feel like these are the two bastard child that we never talk about. Especially the E36. I feel like this has gotten a bad lack of attention this entire season, and I honestly feel horrible about it. And then of course the cherry hatch, which is like my piece together SR hatch. That was just the funny story. If you guys weren't here for this, right, I got the car for like, the car was sitting for like 4 years. It was disgusting. It was so gross. I almost literally scrapped the car because it was so disgusting. And
like stinky?
Dude, it was bad. Like animals living in it, insects living in it. I had to tear it down to a bare shell. We had to bleach the shell.
Sheesh.
We had to scrub it. Like the smell will never leave my like memory. You know, like one of those smells? Yeah, it's one of those smells. Soaked the interior, I power washed. I put my dues in to get this car not stinky anymore, and basically built the thing in like 2 months out of parts that I either had laying around or got for a really awesome deal, right? I bought like 4 S chassis in like a month, and I parted them all out and just kept all the parts I wanted, and ended up basically building an SR hatch for, you know, such little amount of money. And it's just been like, it's not the prettiest thing. It's always been kind of rough, right? You know, it's not, I would say, like a little bit more thrown together for what we're usually working with, but it's been a fantastic, it was fun as street car to drive, right? Stock control arms, stock knuckle drift car. I just slid this for a few events, and something about just sliding stock e-brakes, stock knuckle, stock everything with the SR in it just felt so pure, and I had such a blast doing it. So I kept drifting the car, skunked the fenders up like an idiot, and well, I let my buddy borrow the ECU out of it like 3 months ago, and I just haven't driven it. That's honestly it.
The ECU never came back?
No, I sent it out to a buddy because he needed it, and he just needed it, and I never put another ECU in it, and it's just been like one of those things. It's just like, I felt like it was almost good though, because I was drifting it a lot, and I've been very fortunate, and no one ever hit me in it, and so I never caused any major damage. My buddy hit me, but he hit my wheel, and so it never damaged anything. So I think that was like a wake-up call of like, you know what, stop drifting this car. And so now I'm just happy that I have my cherry hatch like kind of on ice, I would say, like I keep like where I can get to it when I can get to it, and I'm just happy that I have this car still clean and secured, because especially since this season where S chassis have just skyrocketed. They're just silly. It doesn't make that. Stop with those prices. But so she's just sitting pretty for now, collecting parts, and not getting any worse. All right, that's all I'm happy about. And then we have the E36, which honestly is so stupid that I haven't driven it this summer, because I put so much work into it last season. Basically restored the whole underneath of the car, fully M3 converted it front to rear. The interior is all together now. The car drives sick. It makes stupid power. Actually, we never tuned on ethanol, which I don't even know why I never got there. We made, I think, like around 600 horsepower pump gas, right, with the fully built S50. And I parked it like an idiot, you know, and then I just, dude, you know, okay, this is the thing, right? This might sound dumb to some of you guys, but the car gets no grip, right? So it makes like 600 horsepower on pump gas. It was on its way to weigh even more on ethanol. And I have my eclairs, right? It's such a legendary wheel on this thing. So beautiful, and I want to continue to run them so bad. They're like a monument piece to me on this car. And to be able to run them on this car with a tire that actually makes the thing functional, I'd have to cut it up. There's no way I could fit these wheels with any size tire on it, stock body. So I bought the overfender kit, as you guys saw. We did a whole video on it. And I know I need to cut the car up to make it work, but I can't get myself to do it. And so I kind of have been like neglecting the car to like deal with that. And I just need to get the balls to just cut this thing up and put the over-fenders on it so I can actually enjoy the power. So it's just, that's, you know, I sound stupid to some of you guys, but it's been driving me nuts. And this is, my buddy in the beginning of the drift season needed an ECU for his car. It was like a last minute thing for a drift event, and we put it in his car for a drift event, and he ended up drifting with it all season, which is fine. You know, I told him he could do that. So this car's also been ECU-less for the last like...
ECU has never returned.
No. I guess we got to cut this car up, Steve. I don't know.
What's stopping you?
I don't know. It's like, it's a nice car. That's the problem. Like, you feel guilty cutting it up, but then you're just like, well, I'm not enjoying it. So then what's the point? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like that weird catch-22. It's like, I don't want to touch it because it's nice, but I'm not enjoying it. So what's the whole point of that, you know? So it's weird how that all works.
You got to tap into your inner destructive self, Jim.
Yeah, I gotta get a Sawzall and cut this thing up.
What else do we have here that we haven't touched?
The 8.6, which is our recent project, right? So if you're still watching the video, God bless.
They're still here.
They're still here. So we were supposed to go pick up the drivetrain for it the other day, but you know,
Things happen.
Things happen. So I think tomorrow we're gonna head down to Jersey and pick up the engine for it. So I'm super excited for that. It's gonna be Steve's first time at the engine depot. It's a good experience.
I've heard good sketchy things.
And then besides that, it's just collecting parts. I've done a lot of part buying in the last few days. It's been very expensive, but I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, is there anything else you want him to let them know about?
There's one thing.
Yeah. And then we have my. I should just beep out the noise. And then we have my. And I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. So I've actually had this car for a little while now. I've had this car for over 6 months, I think. It was one of those cars that I wasn't looking for it, but it was just one of those silly deals, and the opportunity was right, so I took it. And I just had it on ice ever since, so when the time comes, I have the opportunity to build it. The reason why I haven't exposed it yet is because I know you guys would yell at me because you think I'm trying to take on more projects, but buying something because the opportunity is right is different than just trying to start a new project, all right? I know you guys will yell at me, so it's been covered. I might show you guys one day because I hate having it covered.
Because it's so dope.
Well, because I want to like poke at it, and I never do because like the
It's
cover's
covered.
on it, so I don't know. Maybe we'll just save it when we don't have a video and we'll just expose that car. It's nothing crazy, and you guys are gonna be like, oh, so typical of Jimmy, right? It's a nice car, but we're gonna leave that mystery. You guys could probably guess what the heck it is, but besides that, thank you guys for listening to me ramble on for the last 30 minutes. As you can tell, I'm pretty shot, but I'm very excited to see the new footage on the new camera, and I hope this clarified some things for you guys. And of course, any suggestions on any builds, let me know, because I always love going back and playing with some of the, I guess we'll call them older projects, right? Because there's always mods to be done. So with that, we're gonna end it. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and Steve?
Have a good night.